right, here we are, kids. We're at the door. Gonna head into the feed mill office here. Oh my gosh, look, we have Brian. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Hello. How are you guys today?
Good, good. We're glad we came by to see you. And what exactly is your job here at the feed mill?
Okay. I oversee the feed mill, which we'll go look at here in a little bit. I also oversee the elevator here in town in Hayes. I sell chemical. I sell feed, and I sell farm supplies, fencing supplies, ear tags, stuff like that. I also, during wheat harvest and milo harvest, I, weigh the trucks in and out and check grain. So.
Sure, cool. So is this the machinery that you use to do all the weighing with?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Nice.
So normally we have a scale interface on our computer. Truck pulls on the scale. And, well, it's not one to pull up right now, but, hey.
It happens.
And you get an inbound weight. You get the farmer's name and what farm he's farming on, what field he's working with. We run our probe, and it comes out, probes down into the truck. You can't see it, but and it comes out right here. And you open it up, grain falls out. I've got a grain sample here.
Oh, look.
It's actually wheat and corn mixed together. We'll run a sample on it. Oops. Oh, yeah. Here's a second. It automatically loads.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Listen to it going, kids. Wow, look at that. That is like really fast.
So, yeah, it kicks out the moisture of the grain and then how much it weighs.
Very good.
So from there, we get a sample. Roughly 450, oops, I need a little extra, to 550 grams. And you take hit a button, it gives it 100% of that. What we'll do is we'll run this as a kicker. And this separates the grain out from anything that's not grain. So, sometimes you get wheat seeds in there or trash from other plants and whatnot. So,
Wow. Check it out.
they'll come out through there.
Oh, that's really interesting. It's separated. So is the bottom would be like the trash stuff that's coming out?
The very bottom tray is going to be anything that's not wheat. Your second to bottom tray is the shrunken and broken wheat. Your middle one right here is just wheat for the most part, and a little bit of trash. And then the top one is usually some other foreign trash.
Big pieces.
Yes,
Big
exactly.
Pieces. That's why it separated the corn,
Yeah.
right?
And then there's the little dust collector right there. So
Cool.
we normally take, let's see, the top and the bottom, which there's normally not that much in the top, and you weigh that out, and it'll give you a percentage of what the total sample was.
Okay.
Whatever that is considered not wheat.
Okay. Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
and that's how you figure out what dockage would be. Usually it's anything that's a percentage of whatever's not wheat.
So explain to them what dockage is.
Okay, so dockage is any material that is not wheat in a wheat sample.
Okay.
So you can have like bindweed seeds, or maybe some trash from the wheat chaff, stuff like that,
Okay.
or extra dust, things that wouldn't normally be, that you wouldn't make bread out of. So
Right.
basically that's what you're after, is anything that it's not going to be used to make bread.
Gotcha.
You're gonna want to pull
Gotcha.
that out. So
Cool. That's really interesting. So you said earlier the farmers pull right up here onto the scale, and you can see them pull in through this big window, right?
absolutely, and
Okay.
usually if you're really lucky, they've got a little card
Oh.
that gives them their account number and their name, and you can type that into the
They
computer.
just show it to you.
Yep,
through
they just
their
hold it
window?
up like that,
Oh,
and
that's
it's really
interesting.
simple, but it really makes life easy. So.
Oh, I'm sure you don't have to get out and go figure out who it is every time.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, that's really interesting. That's really cool. So, what else do we do here in the feed mill?
What else?
Yeah. What other things? I know there's a lot.
Okay.
So,
Well, we do have a little bit of chemical and supplies
okay.
over there.
Let's head over there, Ross. So these are some of the things you were talking about earlier that you also sell additionally on top of feed. So
Yep,
we have
so
all
we have
kinds
dog
of
foods, cat foods.
right.
We have some milk replacer over here for baby calves.
Gotcha.
You know, it's calving season.
Gotcha. Ear
Ear
tags.
tags.
Very good.
Mouse bait.
Oh, I see fencing supplies too.
Yes.
So you're all stocked up and ready for the year then.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very cool. All right.
Little fertilizer, just odds and ends. So.
And you guys will help them make choices on what's a good thing to use for their chemicals
Absolutely.
wise and property and things.
Depending on if they're spraying over the top of wheat or if they're getting ready for planting corn or milo. You know, depends on what chemical they want to use, what rates they want to use,
Right.
What combination you're looking at using.
So, do you guys actually provide like a spraying service as well?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you have guys that do that and just go out and they spray during the days for the farmers?
Yep, when the wind's not blowing.
Okay.
And it's dry.
So why do we want to make sure the wind's not blowing?
So when the wind is blowing, it can grab a hold of the small particles that are sprayed on the plant and carry them over to places you don't want it to land, like trees, other people's fields.
It has a special name. What do they call that?
Drift.
Drift, that's right. So when it comes and it goes where you don't want it to go, it's drifting onto the plants, and we obviously don't want to kill your neighbor's plants, right?
Most
That's a
people
bad
don't
deal.
like that, so.
Very cool. So is there any other services that you guys provide? Do you deliver feed? Do you do things like that as well?
We do deliver feed. We manufacture feed. We are grinding and mixing feed mill. We do not make pellets. We order those in and have semis bring that in for us. As far as the company goes, we also have oil or service stations. We sell fuel. We sell bulk fertilizer.
Okay. How many stations does Midland Marketing have, or how many feed
There's
mills?
11. Well, there's 2 feed mills.
Okay.
Hayes is the main one. It services most of the company. There's a little rolling one down at McCracken.
Okay.
Just they roll grain, and that's about all they do there.
Okay.
We have 11 locations.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, spread over how many counties? Do you know?
I want to say like 9.
9
give or
counties.
take.
Wow. So
That might be exaggeration.
So how much? So these farmers that bring in the wheat every year, what is a good? I know you probably can't tell me exactly, but like an estimate of how much wheat would actually come into this mill every year.
Well, as far as in the elevator, not the mill,
Okay.
we get roughly 300,000 bushels, give or take.
Wow.
So,
That's a lot.
well, it's a small
Really?
one. Yes.
To me, it seems like a lot.
Well, Hayes is kind of an older elevator, and nobody likes to drive through town. So you have,
yeah, that's true.
like in this Ellis County, we have Yosemite elevator and the Toulon elevator.
So they probably get a little more business
Yeah,
because they're a
exactly.
little more
Toulon.
convenient for the farmers to get to.
Yeah,
Right.
Toulon's taken over 1 million every once in a while.
Wow.
So, that's a lot of semi-loads. A semi-load holds 1,000 bushels, give or take. So.
Gotcha.
Could you explain the difference between an elevator and a feed mill?
Sure.
Perfect.
So an elevator, it stores grain and keeps it in condition. You bring it in, you dump your trucks, and it runs it up into a bin, which is those little tubes the little round tubes you see on the side, and it stores it. We monitor temperature, we monitor moisture. We actually have to look for bugs to make sure that they're not eating the grain. It's very, kind of different. Usually when your grain starts heating up, it's because you have bugs in it, so you have to treat the grain and move it to different bins throughout the time you store it. Pardon me. At some point, we usually ship out on rail or trucks. And that's basically what an elevator does.
So that's why the elevator is so close to a railroad track.
Exactly.
Great.
To begin with, they were all built next to railroad tracks because they could ship it out on rail easier than semis. The feed mill doesn't hold near as much, just a small amount of grain compared to the elevator. And the feed mill actually goes over and buys grain from the elevator, brings it over, weighs it out, and then we will make feed from it. We have a small number of bins in the feed mill, and we can roll the grain to, finer than whole kernels, I guess is what you'd say. Mix it up, add supplements, add protein, things like that.
Okay, cool. Well, could we take a look in the feed mill? Is that okay today?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
I got a ration mate set up for us. I can show you
great.
that real
Come
quick.
on, kids. Let's go check it out. So Brian says he has a ration made for us.
So this is a run sheet. Excuse me. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
It's my chicken scratches, so you probably can't read it.
So that tells us how many pounds we're going to put in this ration that we're going to make.
And we're going to bag this one up. That's rolled corn, soybean meal, alfalfa pellets, and molasses.
Very good. And I actually know the name of that person on that sheet that we're going to make that feed for. So I'm guessing maybe goat or horse feed this is going to be.
That's what my guess is.
Yeah. So come on in, guys. Check it out. Here's the warehouse.
This is Jerome Conrad.
Hi.
They work in the feed mill with me. Oh, and then there's Cole too.
We got a whole crew here.
Yes,
Jerome, Colton, and who else?
Okay, this is Conrad, Jerome, and then Cole.
Hi, Cole. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for letting us invade the feed mill today. All right.
Pardon me, guys. I'm squeeze by you.
And this is where you would store a lot of the grain that you're making
Alfalfa
up?
pellets.
All the bag stuff.
All the bag
Well,
stuff gets stored
We
here.
make that with our name on it, we make that. The other
Gotcha.
stuff we get from ADM and
Gotcha.
different suppliers.
Gotcha. You guys have a lot in here. Great.
Yeah.
All right, let's head this way, guys.
So this is the feed mill.
Wow. Wow, this is amazing. Check it out, guys.
So we have bags set up over there for bagging.
There, all the bags ready to put the feed into. Look at that. Pretty neat. Okay. Oh. That looks like that's what's in the bins, guys. And this is our giant scale here that helps you guys measure what you're doing.
Absolutely. So actually, when you're worried about, what I want to say, whenever you make feed, you need to look what the previous ration was, so that you know if it's safe for the next animal. With this being goats or horses,
Right.
we don't have, looking at it, the last thing to run through the mixer actually had an ionophore, which is a drug
Okay.
that goats and horses can't have.
Gotcha.
So we'll have to run a little flush through the whole system real quick just to make sure it's clean, and then we can start making the feed.
Okay, great.
So, oops.
Probably gonna get a little noisy, maybe.
Yeah, we'll run a little corn through it.
So how much corn do you need to kind of flush out the system?
I usually like to run about 1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds. Okay.
If you look at our scale over here, the big 1,000, and you can actually watch the scale move, and that's about how fast it's running. So.
Oh, wow. And then after that 1,000 pounds goes through, you'll be ready to run a fresh ration without any chance of contaminating the
Absolutely.
next one. Okay, great. Want to make sure we keep all the animals healthy and make sure they only get the right kind of food every time you make food for them.
Yeah, actually the goats can handle this, but
But the horses can't. Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's true. Different animals have different systems, and they can only handle certain things, so we have to make sure.
Like,
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
Goats can eat sheep feed, but sheep can't eat goat feed.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
All right, look, he's getting close to 1,000 pounds, and then we'll be ready to run the new ration.
Okay.
Interesting.
So first thing you want to do is kick on your mixer, which I'll take you guys around and show you. Then there is a drag, which is, it's clear up on the ceiling. You can't.
Right, okay.
It's actually a set of chains that goes around like this with paddles on it that drags the feed to the bin.
Gotcha.
We'll kick on the leg, which I can show you guys over here. There's a belt with pipes on it. Yep, there you go. If you look on the inside of that. And that spins clear up to the ceiling, carries feed up, and then drops it back down. And then there's another drag that we have to turn on to get it over to the leg. Once we get that there, everything right. So this is my scale, the big scale that measures out, or this is the dial that reads it. This is actually what the feed goes into.
Okay.
Below that's the mixer, and then below that is what's called a surge hopper, which was the last drag I turned on. So we'll drop it from the scale, the mixer. You guys all walk that way. Let me check my belt here. Come with me, I guess. Just to be on the safe side. This is a distributor. These are the bins that we can run into. We want to make sure we're running to some place where we know it's going. So we'll run into bin 34, which is that bin up there. And I don't know if you can hear it, but you can just make out little pieces of drain trickling.
Yeah, you can kind of hear that.
So, and that is just a little extra that there's always a little bit left behind in your legs and your drags and all that.
Right.
That's why you got to run a flush through so it cleans all that extra stuff out.
Perfect. This is a pretty complicated process. All these different things you have to do.
It can be sometimes. So we drop the corn into the mixer. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's what our mixer looks like.
Interesting.
You can see the corn down at the bottom.
That's really cool. And how fast does that spin? I asked you a question you're not going to know.
And actually, I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's two sets of ribbons. There's a ribbon on the inside and the ribbon on the outside.
Okay.
And they're actually designed so that the grain that's in the middle flows to that end of the mixer.
Okay.
And then it drops down and catches the other end and then brings it back.
Pulls it back through.
So it mixes the whole thing.
So, do you ever mix any liquids in this type of feed?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Oh, great.
Extraction.
Great.
So.
Perfect.
All right. So once we get that in the mixer, then we'll open the mixer gate, which is this one. You'll hear the motor that kick up because it's got a load on it,
Okay.
and then you'll hear the leg run,
Oh, listen. You hear it?
and then
You hear
then shortly you should hear, if I did it right, yeah, there it is. There's the grain hitting the top of the bit, or the bottom of the bit.
that? Wow. You sure can hear that. It's a very distinct difference.
Yes. All right, so let's head back over to the.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, is he finished bagging the bottom?
I don't know.
Okay.
What if anyone
Okay, so it looks like they're getting prepared to start mixing in the additional feed on top of the corn. And he did tell us he's going to be adding a liquid to this. And my guess is it's going to be molasses.
Yes.
Is that correct?
It's a mold blend. It's actually molasses that has fat added to it.
Okay.
So yeah. Oh, I said we were grinding mixing. So that's the mixing process.
Okay.
This is our roller mill. Grain comes in down here, drops down, and actually runs over to another leg over here.
Holy smoke.
What it is there's two giant, I don't have an easy way to get to it. There's two giant cylinders that have teeth on it, and they roll together like this, and they actually crush the wheat or the grain into smaller sizes.
Okay.
The reason why that's done is when the surface area of the grain is increased, and it's more easily digested by farm animals. So they get more nutrients out of the grain when it's been rolled. So,
Very good.
so yeah, I can't really tear that apart, so it's all right.
Yep.
We'll head over here. So we'll run the first thing up. There's 1,440 pounds of corn.
We're going to watch the scale again, Ross. There you go, all those cool knobs. And you put that weight on there just to hold it down for you, so you
Yeah.
have to sit there and hold
Yeah,
it.
so I don't have to hold it. So.
Okay.
We actually have two different. We have a digital scale over here too.
And it works in
This-
unison with the other scale.
Exactly. This is in 2 pound, and I believe that's in 5 pound rates. And not everybody's eyes, like myself, are the best to see the little numbers.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Very cool. So the farmer that's getting this feed, will he come today maybe and pick up his bag?
He's actually going to come in and pick it up tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
But I'd like to do it ahead of time in case we get busy that day.
Right.
So that we don't have to worry about getting it done.
So how many farmers would you say bag their feed around here? Is it a very common thing?
It depends on if they've got storage and how many
Gotcha.
animals they have.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a horse feed, I have people who will do that. The smallest amount I will make is 1,000 pounds of a mix. I can do large, you know, however much guys want for the most part.
So I mean, just from an economical comparison, it's usually a little more expensive to get it bagged. Am I correct in that?
Correct. So
if you buy it bulk and you bring a bin in, it's a little bit cheaper to buy it that way.
right. So
Right.
we charge $1 a bag for every bag
Okay.
we make or fill for somebody. We charge them $1.
Right. Right.
So if you have 15 ton, that's a lot of bags.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or 10 ton, 400 bags.
So how many pounds is in a bag that you sell?
50 pounds.
About 50 pounds.
Yep, 50 pounds. A ton is 2,000 pounds. Just remember that. And so there's 40 bags in 1 ton. So
Hey, there's a little bit of math today, guys.
Yeah.
Didn't know you were going to get that, did you? All right. Let's go
Okay.
to our next one.
So the next one is soybean meal.
Okay,
And it's-
soybean meal. Now that's soybeans that's been crushed up.
No, actually, soybeans have gone through. Let's see, 450.
We won't distract you while he's trying to get this one done.
650. I know. I'm trying to. It's actually soybean that's had the oil pulled out of it, so it's a process. It's been cooked down
Okay.
into a fine meal, kind of like cornmeal, if you guys, or it's almost as small as flour, but not as powdery. And it actually increases the protein in it by doing this process. Soybeans itself usually is about 35% protein. The bean meal I get in is 47%.
So you get the bean meal in, you don't make that here.
No, I do not.
Okay,
make that.
so they bring
that's
that in.
That's a semi-load. There's a kind of a scientific cooking process
Okay,
involved with
gotcha.
doing that, which we're not
Okay,
capable of
yeah.
doing.
That kind of requires more equipment than you can
Exactly.
handle. Probably more than you want to handle too.
Right. Okay, so I got my bean meal in, I got my corn in. The next two things are alfalfa pellets and molasses. So what we'll do is the alfalfa pellets are in a bag and the molasses is a liquid, so we'll start running that.
Okay.
So we will drop this into the, just to be on the safe side, I usually mark off what I've done. That way I know where I am in this whole process and
Good
don't
deal.
forget.
Don't want to forget it and
Yep.
mess it up.
Okay, make sure your mixer gate's closed. It is. The green light says it's closed, so it's
Okay.
safe to open. Or dump scale. Alright, so that's in the mixer now.
Okay.
We'll come over here. This is our molasses pump and meter. This is actually our molasses holding tank over here. And then there's the pump down here. It will pump it down if you follow the tube straight into the mixer. And there it is. That's molasses running. Ready, side. So we got the molasses running. Uh-oh. Hang on just a second.
Okay, so it looks like they are going to go get the alfalfa pellets and the molasses. So we'll just hang out here for a little bit and wait for Brian to come back and bring that product so that they can add that into the feed that they're making. So a lot of times alfalfa is actually a legume forage that you cut, but they can press it and turn it into a pellet. And like Brian was saying earlier, some of their feed comes in on a truck, and so their alfalfa pellets would come in on a truck. They would not do the pelleting process for alfalfa here because it takes specialized equipment. So they're probably just going to add, here we go. They're going to add some bags of that to the feed that we've got going. So you can see right here, we've got dehydrated alfalfa pellets, and this is actually made in North Sioux City, South Dakota. So that tells you how the pellets actually get here. So let's see what Brian's gonna do next. So you'll just add it, like pour it right into there?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Will you open that next bag? Can we look at some alfalfa pellets?
absolutely.
And see what it looks like. Alfalfa is really good feed for horses, cattle, goats. It's high in protein. See, it's pretty green color.
It's got a wonderful smell to it too.
Yeah, it smells really good. Love alfalfa. But we don't need paper in our mix, do we?
No.
So we're putting 200 pounds of dehydrated alfalfa pellets?
Correct.
Okay. Boy, I know those goats and horses are really going to like this when it's done. I know my horses love alfalfa pellets. They just eat them up. Okay, there's all of our alfalfa put in.
So
Will the molasses go in this bit as well?
it's already going.
It's already going, huh? Okay,
Let's see if I come over here.
here we go. We're going to watch.
On that light.
Oh,
You
look
actually,
at that. You can see the pellets in there for sure.
and then look at the corn being a little more golden
Yeah.
and brown than it was.
Oh, that means you added the liquid already. Great. And how much liquid did you add to it?
70 pounds.
70 pounds of molasses.
Well,
And
we're still
molasses and fat.
Yes, we're still adding it
Okay. And where does that get added at?
over here.
Okay.
That's not good away. A little too much.
So that's how it's getting added.
Yep. Went through. That's the holding tank.
Okay.
Down to the pump, and then through.
Oh, and it goes through this hose right into the mixer. Awesome. Very good. I thought you just poured it in. I guess I learned something new today too.
That takes a long time.
Yeah.
We've had that pump right now.
Look, Conrad's knocking the grain down to make sure he gets it all out.
Yeah, we don't want dust and things that might have
Right.
collected in the next person's ration.
Very good.
So we knock it out and
Very good. Cool.
All right. So we've got everything in the mixer,
Okay.
and it's mixing. Usually, you need to let it sit for about a minute. Once it's sat that long, this mixer's. I mean, the design of it's meant to be a really short period of time.
Okay, so it's pretty efficient then.
Yes, there
Gotcha.
you go.
Gotcha.
Words I can't think of it.
Yeah.
So, and it's probably mixed long enough. I'll let it go a little bit longer.
Okay.
We'll come over here. We'll check. We need to change the bin that we're running into.
yeah. That's why I made a noise, Brian.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure that's what you were doing. So, we'll go down to bin 30.
Oh, look right here, Russ. See?
Well, yeah. So this is bin 30,
Okay.
and that is the bin over there.
Okay.
And let's see, is that you got that slide closed?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So once we get to that point, you hear the surge, you'll hear the leg. Maybe. There it is.
Oh, you hear that, kid? You hear the grain coming through?
And then it'll come out over on that bin.
Okay. Boy, there's a lot of bins around here. It has to be confusing, I would think.
Well, you have to look at this cardboard. This has the layout of the feed mill and all the bins that are located throughout in their number. So
Great.
you can actually compare your numbered boards to the control panel over here, and they're numbered the same way, so you know which augers go to where and what you're doing. So
Awesome. Very complicated.
some days it feels like it.
Complicated but easy.
Yeah.
So, very cool. All right.
All right, so we got the grain going in there.
Okay. And now we're going to bag it? So what is this little machine over here going to do for us?
That's our sewing machine.
Okay, so that's
So-
going to close up the bag.
Yep. So this is actually a scale right here. And this will put you within a half a pound of 50, plus or minus. So right here, should be 50 pounds, and then plus, the further down it goes, the heavier it is
Okay.
above it. So,
Okay.
big bag. This is actually a clamp that holds the bags in place. And then you hold that down.
Oh wow, look, the bag is filling up. Oh look, did you see that? It automatically stopped when it got to the right weight.
And we'll go ahead and bump that up just a little bit.
So that's what Brian was meaning about it being a scale, is when it hits the right weight, it will stop pushing the grain into the bag.
That way we don't have to get a scale out and weigh every
Every
bag.
time.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then, once again, this is that clamp. You pop that up and let go. And you can look down inside of the bag. And that's what we made.
Let me see. Oh, and you can feel the moisture in it from the molasses. Oh, smells really good. You want a bite, Satina? No, you don't want to eat it? How about you, Ross? You want a bite?
good.
Okay. I bet the horses would like it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. That's a giant sewing
Oh, good job. I slipped.
The giant sewing machine.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And then we will get a pallet out and we'll stack it on pallets. Actually, give me just a second. I need. Oh,
We'll move out of the way.
He's got exactly what I'm looking for.
Oh, now what is this critter?
That is our dolly.
The grain dolly? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Well-
that picks that up pretty easily.
Yeah, we put. I don't know if you saw when I got done with the alfalfa pellets. There's blue little pallets underneath of these, all these,
Oh, okay.
and those forks actually slide underneath of them, so that you can
Make
pick
it-
it up and move it around
Make
really
it
easy.
easier to
Yeah.
pick up.
Yeah,
You can
moving
probably
10
move several hundred pounds with that thing, can't
well,
you?
10 to 12 bags, so 500 to 600 pounds.
Okay, great.
So
Those are handy.
yes, yes. Okay, so we slide the pallet right there.
So how many will you stack on this pallet?
This will be
Normally?
40 bags.
40 bags per
So-
pallet is what you normally have,
Yeah.
right?
And
Okay.
you want to stack it a certain way so that it doesn't tip over or fall. If you want to like cross layer, so you'll do 2 bags here and 3 this way, or this way I guess, and then the next level, the 2 bags will be here and 3 this way.
Okay.
You want to keep it nice and flat and square, because if you get a point on it or if it gets lopsided or whatever, it falls over, which is no fun to clean up.
So will you tag these bags for?
This is a custom mix. So we're gonna write the customer's name on the bag, shrink
Okay.
wrap it up, and then we'll set it off to the side so we know where it is.
Okay, that way it doesn't get mixed up with someone else's feed, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right,
As soon as we
that's
get done,
important.
yeah, we'll put them on there. Now,
Yeah,
there's
I
what
see
our
that.
tags look like. We actually put a run number or a lot number on our tags so we know when we bagged them up,
Okay.
how old they are, and we put our name and address on there so we know where.
Okay.
Well, not just on the bag, but on the tags also. So.
Perfect. Well, that's interesting. Well, maybe we'll watch you bag a couple more, and
Okay.
then we'll get out of your hair, because I think we've seen everything we wanted to see here today.
All right. You guys want to bag one?
Yeah, Tina, jump in there.
There you go.
Watch your bag. Have her show you do.
Okay, you pull the handle down until it hits right there. And if you watch over here, once it hits the weight will pop up and it triggers it to come down.
So awesome.
Now, it's not quite at 50 pounds, so you just kind of pull it a little bit and you'll hear it. There you go.
Perfect. She's looking for a job.
I'm sure she
Yeah.
is. We're always hiring.
Yeah.
Okay, take this and push it up. Nope. There you go. And then step on the pedal. I won't make you do the sewing machine. But you, there you go.
Look at her. Yeah, we'll let him do the sewing machine because we don't want to sew our fingers to the bag. That would be really bad. All right, Satina, you made it. Now you got to pick it up and throw it on the pallet. Is that how it's supposed to go?
There you go.
I think you've done this before.
Where's that?
I worked at my elevator back home because I wouldn't break.
Oh, hey. So you know everything that goes on?
This is a lot more high tech.
Oh, okay.
She's impressed.
We still use a tractor and weigh up everything.
Oh, okay. The elevator or the female that in McCracken, that's how they are. They actually have a little buggy that's got a scale on it. That's a little hand cart, and that's how they weigh everything out. Or used to when it was working. So I've seen all kinds of levels. I've gone to some of the big ones like I've been to ADM's feed mill in Abilene, and everything is computerized, and you just type in what you want, and it automatically loads everything for you, and it'll say, okay, you know, it has drug levels that it weighs out. I mean, it's just there's no manual labor at all. So
Interesting. Very cool.
yeah, but they're much more efficient than we are. So
Very good. Well, that's interesting. Hey, Ross, take a look. This is how you would layer that. So those other bags would be this direction so that you have a nice way of stacking. And then if you look right over here, that is the door for the warehouse, and the farmers would back up their trucks to there, and they would use the dollies or forklifts and put that right onto their truck or their trailers. Am I right, Brian?
absolutely.
Okay. Well, hey, we want to thank you so much today for letting us come.
Thank you guys for stopping by.
Yeah,
Enjoyed it.
we really appreciate it, and I'm sure these goats and horses are really going to appreciate this feed that you made for them.
I hope so.
Yeah, and we are thankful for all the hard work you do as a person that is involved in agriculture, so thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I
Perfect,
appreciate it, guys.
perfect. If you guys ate today, remember what I said yesterday. Thank the farmer for all the hard work they do, and God bless America.